Markets in turmoil, tit-for-tat tariffs, and supply chain disruptions. The global trade industry has weathered through many storms. How will it navigate the current trade instability, and what does it mean for the regular consumer? Welcome to The Exchange from our studio here in Doha. Coming up on this episode, we speak to Marco Forgione, Director General of the Chartered Institute for Export and International Trade, for an analysis of the state of global trade. And later on the show, we'll have insights from Eddie Fishman, former US diplomat and author of the book Choke Points: The New Economic Warfare, about using tariffs as a strategy to gain economic leverage. Global trade is quite literally what makes the world go round. It's the main lifeline of any country's GDP. But trade is at a fragile crossroad, threatened by tariffs and uncertain policies. 98% of the world engages in some form of exchange of goods and services. According to the United Nations, global trade figures hit a record $33 trillion in 2024, marking a 3.7% jump from the previous year. But a cloud of uncertainty has loomed over that momentum in 2025, shaken by tariffs announced by US President Donald Trump. The so-called Liberation Day tariffs targeted around 90 of the country's trading partners, including the UK, China, and the European Union. The decision has prompted countries to initiate bilateral talks with the Trump administration to negotiate a mutually beneficial trade agreement. But where does it all leave the average person? Tariffs are taxes on imported goods that can increase prices of everyday items. So while the US tariffs were meant to rebalance trade, they have started to hurt the pockets of consumers. The World Bank has already warned that the ongoing trade uncertainty is bound to hurt global economic growth this year. I spoke to Marco Forgione, Director General of the Chartered Institute of Export and International Trade in the UK, who shared insights on what can be done to soften the blow.
We saw a huge diversion of the ships that were due to be heading to the US from China, shifting and calling to drop their products in the UK and the EU. So that trade diversion is going to be a part of the new world system, the new world structure. And that sort of dumping of goods into more open markets actually creates an existential threat to those domestic markets, because cheaper product coming in mass obviously undermines domestic manufacturing capability. We're going to have to see defensive measures taken by other nations and other markets to protect their domestic production capability. So you enter a world whereby tariffs become the norm as nations seek to not just defend their domestic production capability, but also to secure their domestic marketplace. It's a challenging environment, but that's not an encouragement for businesses to retrench. I think it's about businesses having a more resilient approach to their international trade.
2025 also marks 5 years since another global shift in trade, Brexit. Leaving the European Union posed many challenges for the United Kingdom. And while the two parties have reached a new trade deal, our reporter Emmeline Nsingi Nkosi finds out that some communities in the UK have found a silver lining in this new reality.
Hi Layla, I'm in Tilbury in southeast England, where the Thames Freeport is reshaping trade.
Thames Freeport is a special economic zone designed to regenerate the east of London.
Ruth Kelly is at the helm of this transformative initiative. With a wealth of experience in both government and business, she's driving Thames Freeport's vision to redefine the UK's trading landscape.
We want to be a supply centre for sustainable construction and other high manufacturing opportunities, and that means working really closely with our European partners to attract trade and to attract added value manufacturing.
The community is already reaping the rewards.
I've always brought my grandchildren here, but now there's more going on, more activities for them, and it's just a lovely, warm, safe environment.
The community is going to benefit from the extra apprenticeships and the skills that are being created to fulfil the high-value jobs that are coming to the area. The free port is going to create tens of thousands of good quality jobs in the future.
Thames Freeport isn't just charting a new economic path, it's also creating new opportunities for these communities and building a stronger, more connected future for the UK.
While trade negotiations may lead to a fairer outcome for all parties, how does using tariffs as a so-called bargaining chip change global trade as we know it? I put this question to Eddie Fishman, who's a former US diplomat based in New York and author of the book Choke Points: The New Economic Warfare.
As I talk about in my book Choke Points that came out earlier this year, we are living in an age of economic warfare. Sanctions, export controls, and indeed tariffs have become the primary way that big countries are competing with one another. Countries around the world are seeking what I would call economic security. They're trying to reduce their vulnerabilities to other countries' ability to impose economic pain on them. What does the new global economy look like? I think what we all need to earnestly hope is that just because there's going to be less interdependence between the US and adversaries like China and Russia, that we can still retain interdependence between the United States and close allies.
Now it's time for our regular feature, Business in 60 Seconds. Start the clock. Amazon is set to release its Q2 2025 financial results as it unveils new robotic systems equipped with advanced sensory capabilities. The e-commerce giant aims to automate warehouse operations and boost efficiency by having the robots work alongside humans through increased levels of automation. Samsung is gearing up to announce its second quarter 2025 earnings report as it enhances digital payment solutions with the Tap to Transfer feature in its wallet. The innovation taps into the financial technology sector, positioning the well-known South Korean electronics company as a significant player in the peer-to-peer payment market. And L'Oreal is set to report its Q2 2025 performance, building on the successful launch of the Cell Bioprint device earlier this year. The personalized skin analysis technology has generated strong consumer interest, positioning the worldwide cosmetics company at the forefront of the skincare market. While the recent instability has rocked global trade, it's not entirely uncharted waters. Countries all over the world will want to find a steady and calculated strategy to soften the impact on the economy and, more importantly, on the pockets of the consumer. Well, that's all the time we have for on this edition of the show. Thanks for watching. Please do check out Euronews.com for all your latest business news and join us again next time on The Exchange.